Sometimes I see my speed, but I don't know where I need to counter thrust. Is this the easiest spot to...
I have issues with counter thrusting, but the micromanagement of where I'm going, but I've gotten a little bit better into getting myself into a place where I can realize where my ship is heading, so I can align my trajectory to go where I want it to go.
So if you see here where on my screen, it will hopefully be a little clearer, because I've faced out of the rings, but I don't have the mist sort of clogging things up. Then you can see the occasional dot of dust that's moving. That's I refer to it as the stardust. It's how we can judge what our vector is in flight assist off. Because our vector has no necessary attachment to where our nose is facing, you'll see that if I yaw to the starboard, then the direction that the stardust is passing across my cockpit changes. So that focal point of the stardust shows me what the vector is that my ship is travelling in. So if I'm facing like this, for example, then you can see that the stardust is travelling from the top to the bottom, so I know that I'm travelling upwards. And if I want to apply reverse thrust to slow that down, then I want to apply downward thrust or my ventral thrust.
You know what I just figured out is very useful? Using the controls I use for Super Cruise whilst I'm flying in normal space.
Yep. Hey, Unicorn. So
Unicorn.
I tend to use the Control plus WASD keys. If I hit something and I start spinning out, then I use that to steady my rotationals and take control of that chaotic state.
No, I just figured that it would be very easy to do the turns that way.
Yeah.
As far as, the up-down motion is.
If you need to do a very fast turn that you're not worried about, so how do I... So to stop, I punch towards the dust. So you basically want to use the dust to tell you what direction you're travelling in. The focal point of where that dust is coming from is what your vector is. So if you want to come to a stop, then you have to apply reverse thrust away from that direction to bring yourself to a halt. If you're facing directly into the focal point of the stardust, then that should just be, and if you're doing it perfectly and your nose is precisely aligned, then that's just reverse thrusters.
And remember, FAOff almost never goes to zero.
Yeah, don't spend too much time worrying about getting yourself to zero. It's possible, but it's very tricky.
Yeah,
if you've moved on your rotationals at all, then it becomes very hard to get yourself to complete zero without a lot of sort of struggling backwards and forth.